Imagine a child sitting with a jigsaw puzzle. She picks up a piece and tries several spots. None work. She sets it down, confused. Now her father sits beside her, says nothing, but positions his finger near the correct gap. She looks, tries the piece, and it fits. She beams. Did she solve it herself? Not entirely. Did her father solve it? Not at all. What happened in that shared moment was something Lev Vygotsky would have recognized immediately. Learning happening in the space between what a child can do alone and what they can do with support. Vygotsky called this space the zone of proximal development, and he argued it was the most important territory in all of education and cognitive growth. Understanding it changes everything about how we think about teaching, learning, and human development. Vygotsky was a Russian psychologist who worked in the Soviet Union in the 1920s and early 1930s, dying of tuberculosis at just 37. Despite a career cut tragically short, he produced a body of work that was suppressed in the Soviet Union for decades and only reached Western psychology in translated form in the 1960s and 1970s, at which point it hit like a thunderbolt. His most fundamental disagreement with the dominant approaches of his time, particularly Piaget's constructivism, concerned the role of social interaction in cognitive development. Piaget saw the child as a lone scientist, constructing knowledge primarily through direct interaction with the physical world. Social interaction was certainly part of the picture, but not the primary driver. Vygotsky turned this around. For Vygotsky, all higher psychological functions originate in social interaction. You first encounter a cognitive tool, language, a mathematical concept, a reasoning strategy, in the context of interaction with more capable others. Only gradually do you internalize it as your own independent capacity. What you can do with help today, you can do alone tomorrow. The zone of proximal development captures this dynamic precisely. Vygotsky defined it as the distance between the actual developmental level as determined by independent problem-solving and the level of potential development as determined through problem-solving under adult guidance or in collaboration with more capable peers. Every learner, at any given moment, has a level of competence they can demonstrate independently, what they can do without help. This is their current developmental level. But they also have a ceiling of what they can achieve with appropriate support. The zone between these 2 points, the ZPD, is where instruction is most effective and development happens most rapidly. Instruction that falls below the ZPD, teaching what a learner already knows, produces boredom but not growth. Instruction that exceeds the ZPD, demanding what a learner cannot yet approach even with help, produces frustration and shutdown. The target is the zone itself, the territory where the task is just beyond independent reach, where a little support makes the difference between failure and success. This is the sweet spot of learning, and finding it requires genuine sensitivity to where the learner actually is, not where we wish they were. The concept of scaffolding, though Vygotsky did not use this exact term, was developed directly from his ideas by Jerome Bruner and his colleagues. Scaffolding refers to the support structures that more capable others provide within the ZPD, support calibrated to the learner's needs, and crucially, support that is gradually withdrawn as the learner gains independence. A scaffold on a building is not there forever. It exists to support the structure during construction, and it comes down when the structure can stand alone. The best teaching has this quality. It meets the learner where they are, provides just enough support to allow success, and then gradually fades as competence grows. For Vygotsky, the most powerful scaffolding tool was language. Language is not just a vehicle for communicating thoughts that already exist. It is the primary tool through which thought itself is organized and developed. Children talk to themselves as they work through problems. Private speech, which gradually becomes internalized as inner speech, the verbal dimension of thought. This internalization of social speech is the mechanism through which social learning becomes individual capacity. Vygotsky also emphasized the importance of play for young children, which he saw as a natural generator of ZPDs. In play, children consistently operate above their usual developmental level, following rules, controlling impulses, imagining possibilities, behaviors that they struggle to sustain in non-play contexts. Play is not trivial for children. It is one of the primary vehicles through which development advances. The ZPD teaches us that learning is fundamentally social. None of us developed our cognitive tools in isolation. They came through language, through interaction with teachers and peers, through the accumulated wisdom of culture. And the most powerful thing we can do for learners of any age is to find where they are, meet them there, and offer exactly the right amount of support to carry them forward. Subscribe to Psychology. Theories explained for more psychology breakdowns every week.